Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 81 of the Showbound podcast. I'm your host, Michael Raskin, here as always with Ethan Cardwell with the fresh new background. Cardsy, what's going on?
Not much, man. So basically what happened was I had to do a different background this week because I'm staying at my grandparents, as you guys know, and I just did it in the basement, and it's an unfinished basement, as like a lot of houses are, right? Just for storage and stuff like that. So I go upstairs after like a few days later, and they're like, what the hell are you doing? You're making us look like a mockery with that background and stuff like that. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll clean it up for this week. I'll bring out the old poster, and you know what? I thought this is a decent setup, so that's what we're rolling with. And I'll be carrying this thing around with me, just treating it like a green screen from now on.
Yeah, nice. I can't remember who I was talking to, but I was showing someone a clip of the podcast, and I was wherever I was in my room probably, and then the camera panned to you, and you were in the basement, and then someone was just like, "Cardsy's shooting from his basement." Like, what the hell? Like, where's the studio at? So it was funny because I mean, well, for those who know, earlier listeners, like we both had a good little studio setup going at one point. Um,
Oh yeah,
but it's
we
been
were
just
that.
we've both moved and there's been a hockey season after that. Like there's been a lot. So, but I know you move back to Barrie next week. I move back to St. Catharines next week. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure out what I can do with my setup. We'll see. I'm also doing my first ever standing podcast right now. So
Okay.
uh never done this thing standing. So so far so good. But I'm at the cottage right now.
Yeah, I noticed that because the beautiful ceilings and stuff like that looking great, but I was wondering this. Like I was thinking about it because I'm a busy guy, obviously, as are you, and like we got a lot on the go, and sometimes like timing with our guests don't work out and stuff. What like how bad would it go if we did a podcast while driving? Like
Okay,
do you,
so listen, no. So it's a good idea. And I've occasionally listened to the 32 Thoughts podcast with Jeff Merrick and Elliot Friedman. And sometimes after Leafs games, when Elliot's working, he calls in to Jeff and they record while he's driving home because like he doesn't get out till midnight or whatever. And they're busy guys. So he's in the car I've heard them do it. So like man, and I got a lot of drives and we got times on the bus and stuff. So like imagine doing a bus podcast.
yeah, honestly, man. But that's what I was thinking. I'm like, well, I'm gonna be driving tomorrow when we do this interview that's like going to come out on Friday. Uh but yeah, like I was thinking like, okay, maybe I could pull this off while driving, but I'm like, then the connection and stuff. So we'll see. I'll have to make up my mind more decisively about that one. But you guys will find out the truth if you keep listening to this episode, I guess.
Yeah, I guess stick around and we'll find out when either the interview goes or at the end of this episode. But it's funny because same thing with me because tomorrow, when we're going to be doing the interview with, I'll say our guest Jasper Weatherby, San Jose Sharks player, not a big deal, but um, I'm going to be driving home tomorrow, and I just don't know when yet because I guess that we ironed out a time.
Well, here's the thing. We both can't be like, yo, whether like, hey, we're doing this podcast. We're both driving, by the way. Like we're really unprofessional. We're both driving right now. I know you're on the Zoom, so just make sure you look good for all the YouTube listeners.
Yeah, so we'll have to figure out. I mean, I can't do it driving because, well, I need to be reading, like looking at my notes. I need to be
Yeah,
recording, and I got
true.
to have my computer set up. So it can't work for me, but it could work with for you. Um, but I mean, I'll figure out what's going on. But I'm excited for the interview. I guess we might like normally we do the interview and then we record our part, I guess, after that. But just due to the situation with putting an episode out late this week, we're obviously recording now before the interview. So um for everyone who hasn't figured that out yet. But we got some stuff to talk about, cards. I mean, first of all, let's talk about going back to Barrie. So I mean, we kind of touched on it a little bit ago, but we're a week away. And then you go to San Jose actually. So when do you go to San Jose?
I just got my flight the other day, so I go there on September 13th. So basically, yeah, moving to Barrie next week, and actually camp starts on my birthday. So who doesn't like a Wingate and fitness testing day as a birthday present, right? That's always the best. But I'm looking forward to it, man. It's exciting going in as an old grizzled guy. I guess I got a baby face still, but the boys could say I'm grizzled old man now in the league, and I've been through it all. But now I'm really looking forward to camp, meeting all the new guys, kind of just starting her up, and then yeah, looking very much forward to San Jose as well and the 13th, and kind of just doing everything I can in Barrie to prepare myself for that, along with the season wherever it may be.
Yeah, and you get some away pay this year too, eh? You looking forward to that?
Yeah, a little bit more coin in the pocket with the overage money.
Yeah, that's sweet. And I mean our Brock camp is starting soon and Ice Dogs camp obviously same time as you. I seen the QMJHL, they're already playing preseason games. You see that?
No, I don't like I don't really keep up with the other leagues, but I know they've always been like that and they start early. So that's wild, man. Like the boys are rolling in for camp, I guess, like on August like 15th probably then if they're already into preseason.
Yeah, I think the way it works is like draft picks and maybe younger players, they go in and they play preseason games against those other younger players, and then the vets come in later. So like there's no vets playing in these preseason games yet, but it's interesting. I mean, I saw Halifax was playing and they were losing 8-0, and then they tweeted like eight, like score update, whatever, 8-0. I think it was St. John. I don't know, whoever it was. And they're like, it's just preseason, guys.
They're
So
probably taking heat from their fans. They're like, relax, all right. And
yeah.
that's actually that's it's kind of cool how they do it like that because it's similar like in the show. Like you go for like when I fly on the 13th, that's for rookie tournament and stuff, which is in San Jose this year. And I think we've talked about it before, but yeah, so I'll get down there and then it'll be a few days of practice getting ready for that. And then like all of us prospects will play all the other teams' prospects, and then days later after that is when the big dogs come in for main camp.
That's the best way to do it as far as evaluating players goes and for experience for the players to get, because I mean, judging these younger guys in a game situation, I mean, you can only see so much in practices, right? And we've all seen guys who are like the best practice players in the world, and maybe they just don't think the game the right way or whatever. They have all the skills, but not the brain. I don't know. But you gotta like put. I like the idea of putting them in a game, and I'm sure the ones that make it through from there, they get mixed in with the vets and get to play games with guys that are better on their line and stuff. So it's the right way to do it. I wonder if the OHL does that going forward, like seeing as other leagues are doing it. But I mean, we can talk
Mm-hmm.
about some World Juniors stuff. Canada won gold, obviously. Couple of Showbound alumni on Team Canada. I think if I can remember all of them, we got Ryan O'Rourke, Jack Thompson, Tyson Forrester, and I'm missing one more.
Brandon Othman.
Yeah, Brennan Offen. How can I forget? Though I believe those are the four we've had on, and so congrats to them and also everyone and all of Canada. Pretty sick. And also McTavish, bro. I mean, we've all heard and seen this thing a million times, but like that's just insane. His save and then the tournament he had as well. Like, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, obviously getting to play against him in the OHL and stuff like that. He's a great player, and it translated. He's a man amongst boys, especially at the World Juniors there. And the guy who's kind of played all over the map last year. And I mean, I'm sure everybody's kind of reiterating it on all sports stations, but wow, like that's one of the craziest plays in World Junior history for sure. And to be able to pull that off in the in that much pressure of like the game gold medal game with everything on the line overtime to save the team and then Johnson to go the other way with Stankoven and make a beautiful play like that. It was pretty incredible to watch. And like you mentioned, just it's awesome to see the boys having success out there and getting the job done. And also want to preface the fact that we'll probably have a couple World Junior gold medalists on to talk about their experience here coming in the next few weeks, I'd imagine.
Yeah, we'll get a couple on, and yeah, it was cool, man. And I didn't watch any of the games until the final. They all just happened to be when I was busy and stuff. It's not that I didn't really want. Like I watched a period here and there when I could, but I mean that final was crazy. And when Canada was up 2-0, I don't know if you felt the same. I just had a feeling like Finland. It's Finland, man, and they've been so good in the juniors for so long now. I just knew this thing was going to overtime. Like I did not feel comfortable with the lead.
Yeah, man, it's like Finland's such a hard-nosed team, and they throughout the preliminary rounds, they're always like they're a team that doesn't blow teams out necessarily. Always, they're low scoring. They play a hard-nosed game, and then when it comes to the medal rounds, they're right there every year. and they're obviously a force to be reckoned with in World Junior hockey, and I think they will be for a long time. And Finland's only continuing their growth of young hockey players there and kind of developing the game on in that aspect. So it's good to see other countries globally like getting the job done on that stage.
Yeah, and I think in the last 10 years or 11 years, only Canada, USA, and Finland have won, which I thought was crazy. Like Russia hasn't gone in there. I mean, Sweden, like Canada, USA, Finland, last 10 years, just winning everything.
That's
Yeah.
wild. Yeah, there is good countries, and it was it was a little bit unfortunate for a team like the Slovaks because they struggled so much this year, and they had so many obviously guys with a lot of hype like Slavkovsky and I think Nemec too. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but
Yeah.
both him, both of those two, and along with another first round pick, were not there playing for them. So that obviously hurts countries like that. But I want to talk a little bit about Latvia. I know you said you didn't watch, but wow, they had an amazing tournament for a team who just got barely let in because of an altered because of the situation with Russia. It was incredible to see what they did out there. Like they played an amazing game and they almost beat the Swedes, man. Like for them, well, first let's go back to the fact that they lost in a shootout to Slovakia, I'm pretty sure. So then everyone's like, oh, okay, Latvia's out, whatever. And then next thing you know, they go back the next day and beat the Czechs, which is absolutely astonishing. And then the fact that they lose 2-1 in a medal round game, it was pretty incredible to watch. And I'm super excited because they said they have 16 returning players from that Latvian team. And it's always great to see countries like that who struggle so mightily and they go up and down from tournament to tournament finally kind of have that success every country's looking for there, you know?
Yeah, they've been pumping out good players here and there, and now it's good. I mean, when they get into the big tournament and they win a game, and first of all, seeing them win, I saw the highlight was so cool because it was like, such a big moment for all those guys, but it inspires the younger generation who are watching them. So I mean, you'll see it in like 10, 15 years. There's going to be another crop that's coming through. And they're going to just keep getting better. So it's pretty cool. And on that note of like growing the game, one of my buddies is I guess so. There's like the World Juniors is like A division, like which that just was, and then there's the B, C, and it goes down to like D and E, I think even, but you don't hear about
Yeah.
those ones. My buddy's playing for Team Egypt in the D division, and
No
if they
way.
win, it promotes them to the C division. It's in like 2 weeks, and it's in Florida, which is sick. I can't remember the number, but I think they were saying like he was saying all the Egyptian like government people are coming to watch, and if they do well in the tournament, they're going to start building rinks in Egypt. Um,
Wow. That's crazy, man.
yeah, so it's cool. So like they're trying to grow the game there, like in the Middle East and stuff. And my buddy plays D3, so like he's not bad, but like that's kind of like maybe the level. He might even be one of the better players on the team. Um, but it's pretty cool. Like so they're trying to grow the game, and I think if they win, maybe they get a nice ice rink in the desert. So that'll be sweet.
Yeah, they'll have to have some good cooling devices in there to keep the so they're not playing in a pond rather than on an ice rink. But that'll be incredible, man. Like and that's what we talk about. Like that's what we want. We want more people to play the game. That's why we do this podcast. We want to inspire the youth. We want to share stories about hockey, and it's such a great game. And I feel like it could be shared by so much more than it already is. So hearing stories like that is incredible.
Yeah, and I mean we can send it to the interview, but before we do, there's a
Actually, no, no, no. I want to call out Rask quickly
oh yeah, yeah.
on he says he has an insider source on our last episode, and he said it was a no-brainer that Kadri was going to the Isles. And yes, there was a lot of rumors going around, so that source has to be shut out for a little while. Rask, whoever told you that one, but obviously he ends up with the Flames, and this is a team now that is really good. They had an amazing offseason, and I can remember about 4 weeks ago we were both talking about the fact that Calgary had a really tough go. They lost two of their main guys. And in my opinion, I think they became a better team this offseason for
Yeah, I
sure.
think I think they got better, and if they go deep in the playoffs, and like you're looking at Tree Living's gonna be the GM of the year, in my opinion. And then okay, they're in the terrible situation, like losing Johnny Gaudreau. Like there's really nothing they could do about that. They couldn't trade him because they didn't know what the situation was going to be. So whatever. Obviously, we've already talked about the Kachuk trade. We think they won that trade as of now. Um, And then Kadri, he is a playoff guy. He's like getting Kachuk back already. I don't know if you can hear the dog barking downstairs.
Yeah, he agrees with your take.
But um yeah, well, like I was saying, Kadri, he is as good as Kachuk in the playoffs. Like he's that guy you want that's gonna score goals and hit guys and do whatever it takes to win. Like he obviously has the cup experience now. So in my opinion, like I value him higher than Kachuk in the playoffs right now, just because of that winning pedigree he brings. And they're looking really good, man. And just I'm excited to see Uyghur play too. But also, okay, have you seen the clip of Uyghur walking in the dressing room?
Yeah,
Dude, it looks like a sorry, this dog. It looks like a high school, man.
I know. I've been sent that a few times, and people are laughing. But I thought it was interesting. Actually, what I took out of that was the pictures above the stalls. It's like their headshot above their stalls instead of like a nameplate or something. I thought I've never seen that in my lifetime.
No, I've seen pictures, but yeah, like not like that. I know. I think in the Sioux they have the like maybe JT if he sent you, they have the like a game pic of them above it. Um,
Oh,
and at Brock we're doing something similar. We have a brand new dressing room this year, which is pretty sweet. I'll have to send you a pic because we got a new rink and stuff. But it looks like our Brock dressing room's nicer than that, and they don't even have a logo. I mean, maybe they have a carpet logo that goes in the middle, but like there wasn't a logo there, you know?
I didn't see. I just saw a little hockey rink, but no, as the rest of their facilities could be amazing because you also got to think about NHL teams. And a lot of people don't know this. Most teams don't practice, like they won't practice at their rinks, right? So they're
Mm-hmm.
practicing at facilities. So that's where all the like glory, where their beautiful dressing rooms are and all the amenities that they need. They spend all the time there. Realistically, the only times they're at their real rink is for home games. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have been giving them crap, but like all that really matters is what the guys are given at the practice facilities and where they're going to be most of the time. So
Yeah,
I
it's
wouldn't,
not too bad. It's
but yes, for sure, I can agree with what you're saying. Definitely.
yeah. Well, and we heard Curtis Gabriel talk last week about when he was with the Leafs in the MasterCard Center where they practice, how it was like the nicest facility and they had everything. So yeah, and okay, the dressing room wasn't that bad. It's just it doesn't look like an NHL room, you know what I mean? Like
No, for
yeah.
sure. You don't think of NHL and then that.
Yeah.
But they had a sick off season, so they can just stick up the middle finger to whoever I guess right now.
Exactly. So, all right. Now, before we send it to the interview, we want to welcome back Manscaped, everyone's favorite grooming company. And I got to just remind everybody that smooth sack summer is slowly coming to an end, fellas. If you have, I'm already butchering it. If you haven't been scaping for the summer sun, it's not too late to sweep your sack of those pesky pubes. As summer comes to an end and we enter fall, keep your boys clean and fresh just in time for fresh ball fall. The leader in below the waist grooming is here to make sure your pubes feel smoother than a beach ball and smell fresher than your girl's pumpkin spice. Start the new season the right way and join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. Get 20% off and free shipping worldwide with the code SHOWBOUND at manscaped.com. The Manscaped Performance Package 4.0 has everything you need to keep your sweet, sweet sack in check. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker, ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. The Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 has a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multi-function on-off switch that can engage a travel lock, and gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. Did I mention this trimmer is waterproof too? Whether you're hopping in the shower or hitting up the lake, this razor will devour even the strongest pubes. Now that your sack is smooth, lather up with Manscaped's liquid formulations to get that fresh ball fall freshness. The Crop Preserver ball deodorant to stay cool in the heat. Their soothing aloe vera formula is the best in the business for below the waist freshness, and the clear drying formula keeps your sack looking and smelling good. That's important. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag that'll bring your comfort to another level at home and on the go. Keep yourself groomed from head to toe with their Shears 2.0, a luxury nail grooming kit. This kit includes stainless steel nail cutters, tweezers, and grooming scissors. With the performance package, your balls will be ready to impress, but make sure you cover the rest with the Shears 2.0. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code Showbound at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code Showbound at manscaped.com. Keep things smooth and fresh as we say sayonara to smooth ball summer and enter fresh ball fall. Wow. It's been a while since I read one of those.
You actually did very well for the first time back, but that I missed hearing those. It's always a good chuckle, and I know the people love it. So as much as you love the ad reads, go and buy yourself one because the product's even better. And
It's the nails one. The shears 2.0. I know Manscaped just sent us a bunch of stuff, but I'm at the cottage, so I haven't been home to get it. But I mean, we all know this, and we both have girlfriends, dude. Girls love like clean trimmed nails. And the shears 2.0, man, a luxury nail grooming kit. That sounds like a great thing to invest in if you want to up your nail game. So you got to keep those things clean.
yeah, absolutely. And a guy who knows about it best is Jasper Weatherby, and we'll send it to him now. All right, and we're pleased to be joined here by Jasper Weatherby. And Weather, what's going on, man? How's the summer been?
Good. Summer's good. It's winding down here. Obviously, training camp's coming up, but no, it's no complaints. Summer's been good.
Yeah, and I know you've been spending in Ontario, right? And this is your first summer doing that. So how are things been there?
Yeah, it's great. Obviously, not a ton of hockey in Oregon during the summer. I hope that that can change as the as hockey grows in smaller markets. But for me, it's been great to be up here in the summer and getting to skate with a lot of good guys. And yeah, I mean, this is pretty much the capital of hockey in the world.
Yeah, and you're training with Gary Roberts, right? So how's that been? Like, I know it gets rave reviews from the guys, and it's awesome training, and it kind of ups the game. So how do you feel like your game's kind of improving since going there, and your whole physique as a player?
Yeah, it's been great. Obviously, you get to just be around a lot of guys who have done it for a long time, and for me, just kind of trying to learn and implement some of that stuff into my game has been great. Yeah, no complaints.
So I'm curious, just looking you up and stuff. Can you tell us where you grew up? Like you're born in Portland, Oregon, and did you grow up in Canada? Like tell us about your childhood growing up and stuff.
Yeah, I was born in Portland, but shortly moved down to a small town in Southern Oregon, right on the border of California. And yeah, from there I just played minor hockey and for sorry, that's my dog going wants to play right now. So yeah, just grew up playing minor hockey there and was lucky enough to have a really tight knit group there and from there, I went to was lucky enough to go up in Canada when I got a little bit older, and yeah. So, but Oregon hockey, it's small, but it was a really tight knit community.
So did you move for the hockey, like as you started getting better and for exposure and that sort of thing?
Yeah, exactly. Like we kind of realized going into high school, I was going to have to find some better competition and a little bit more of a hockey market. So I was really lucky enough to go to the Canadian International Hockey Academy outside of Ottawa. It was relatively new academy, so they're offering great packages for kids like myself who needed to move away from home for some hockey. So yeah, was really lucky enough to go there.
Yeah, and that kind of paved the way for you to go to the BCHL as you did, and you played 2 seasons with and correct me if I'm saying it wrong, and I probably will, Wenatchee?
Yeah, Wenatchee, you got it. First try.
Yeah, okay, Wenatchee Wild in Washington, yeah?
Yep, yeah, Washington.
Okay, so that's interesting in the BCHL and there. So you want to tell us a little bit about that? Like, what was your decision to go play there, and was Major Junior ever on your mind?
Yeah, first off, Wenatchee is one of the greatest places I've played, and I loved every minute of it. Growing up, college was a huge thing for me. Part of the reason I tried to go to the BC, I had a little bit of interest in the WHL, but talking with my family, like college was kind of the goal for me since day one. So yeah, going to Wenatchee was great. I was lucky enough to have my mom living in Washington at the time, and so I was pretty close to home, and just a great organization there, and they do everything they can to get players to college.
Mm-hmm. So that's interesting. And like, how was the travel in that league? Like, I've heard obviously in the Western Hockey League, it's kind of a lot and everything, but geographically in the BC, how was things, especially coming up from Washington?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad actually. I think the longest trip was to Prince George, and that was about a 12-hour bus ride. So pretty long, but again, yeah, nothing like the WHL. I know those guys are on buses for 24 hours sometimes. So other than that, a lot of just 4 to 5 hour road trips up to like Penticton, Kelowna area, and then to like Coquitlam and Langley and around Vancouver, and then going to Victoria Islands, one of the sweetest road trips. You get on a ferry and you're just playing cards with the guys on the ferry and around the water. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. And obviously you moved away from home kind of at a young age to play hockey, but then you moved back to home. Wait, so you lived with your mom when you were there, right?
No, I had a
Oh,
billet. My mom was about
okay.
5 hours away.
Oh,
My
okay.
hometown's probably about a 9 to 10 hour drive, so not quite, but like close enough where my mom was able to come for some important games and was there for the playoffs and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was definitely nice to be that kind of close to home after being gone for a long time.
Yeah, and like making the jump to that level at the junior A, like BCHL, obviously the top junior league in Canada besides major junior, I'd have to say, and obviously like one of the biggest suppliers for U.S. scholarships for kids as you went on. But how was the jump from minor hockey to that for you in your 16 year?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Like, I think when I went into Wenatchee, there was a great team and a really good, leadership group of guys who had been there for a long time. So the first year, you're just, trying to, you're a rookie on the team and you're trying to play as much as you can and around some of the older guys. And yeah, so the jump was pretty challenging, but they did a great job with getting us, up and going. And I had a really, great group of younger guys with me, which made a big difference.
Yeah, and obviously it went well because your second year, you guys win a championship, I believe, in 2018. Is that right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we won that second year I was there. So that was a lot of fun.
And yeah, so do you want to tell us a little bit about that run? And correct me if I'm wrong, but 38 points in 20 playoff games, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about getting hot during the playoffs and then obviously winning it all? How was that?
Yeah, no, that was awesome. Again, like my first year there, a lot of the guys had left to go to college, which was great because that's that was the goal for them. And so we had a lot of new guys on the team, and we just kind of came together that year and were able to kind of get hot at the right moment. Played a lot of fun playoff games. I think what's pretty unique about the BC is their playoff games are best of seven. So we played 4 series best of seven, which is just like the NHL, right? Where you see a lot of other leagues will do, best of five or, some best of three. And obviously in college, it's, one game. So that was really cool to kind of experience, I guess, what, playoffs are potentially like at the NHL level. But yeah, it was awesome. And winning it with the guys was super special. And the town is, Wenatchee's kind of the hockey program there is their only thing. So for them, it was huge and, great memories, great group of guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, it sounds awesome, man. We talk about it a lot. Winning's just so fun, like it's sick.
Yeah.
And you learn so much valuable experience going on a run like that too, that you obviously take with the rest of your career and your life. But on that run, just following it is your NHL draft. And I imagine a run like that and the numbers you put up really boosted your draft stock. So can you talk about actually the playoff run leading up to your draft? Were you looking at rankings and stuff? Because you're getting yourself in the mix, and like how did that go on that side of the game?
Yeah. I think, you pay attention to it, not a ton. Like I remember at the first beginning of the season, the rankings came out. I don't think I was on it. Then the midway, I was pretty low on and then towards the end I had gotten kind of higher. And I remember the coaches were pretty honest with a lot of guys who are going to get drafted. And they say the better you guys do in the playoffs, the further you go, the more people will be watching, the less teams that'll be playing. So there's a real opportunity for you guys to move up. And I think that we all kind of took that as a rallying cry with the team for the guys who could get drafted. Like, hey, let's come together and let's make sure we're one of the last teams playing in the country, so we can get more NHL scouts to the game. So, I huge credit to all the guys on my team there. Without them, I definitely wouldn't have been drafted. And throughout the process, you talk to NHL teams and stuff, which is really fun. Some have some funny questionnaires, right? Like, what do you see with this photo? And you kind of say, I see motivation, and, you just give one of those. So, yeah, that's a fun process for any kid. And I think lots of kids going through it should just enjoy it.
Yeah. And then what about your NHL draft day? Like, can you tell us about the day up until the moment you were picked in the 4th round by San Jose?
Yeah, I didn't go to the draft. I just wasn't sure if I was going to get picked. I was at college, and I was at the rink. North Dakota has great facilities, so I spent a lot of time there as a freshman over the dorms. So we were there for summer training, and yeah, I just remember kind of looking on the TV, the draft was on, and I actually saw my buddy who's on the team get drafted to Vegas, I think 2 spots before me. And I was just really excited for him. And then I looked down and saw San Jose had selected me, and looked at my phone, and I had a text from my dad, and it was pretty cool. So that's kind of how my draft day was.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to Cardsy's. Like Cardsy also 4th round, wasn't at the draft, just phone starts blowing up. It was funny because my phone started blowing up when Cardsy gets drafted because I have all the Showbound accounts on my phone. And
Yeah,
there's a million tags going after, like tagging Cardsy and Showbound. And I just felt like I got drafted. It was like the craziest moment. I was at a baseball game. It was hilarious.
that's a
But
good.
did you have
Hopefully,
any?
hopefully I get the same trajectory as Weather here, 4th round pick, and
Yeah,
get in the show here soon.
paving the way.
Oh,
But did you have any feeling it was going to be San Jose? Like I know with Cardsy and with other San Jose guys we've had on, they've had the good talks and the confidence that like we like you type of thing. Did you have that as well?
it's funny. I talked to over 20 teams. San Jose was not one of them.
Uh,
I had no clue that San Jose was going to draft me. Obviously, I was right in San Jose's market growing up as a kid in Oregon, and I had no idea. It was just happened to be a lucky coincidence.
And then, so you were talking about being a freshman and enjoying the facilities there at UND, and I was just wondering what kind of went into your decision making to go to UND, other than the fact that it's obviously an unbelievable hockey school.
Yeah, for me, I wanted to go to a place where they'd help me develop, and I could potentially, play in the NHL. That was my first and foremost, the first thing I was looking at when I was getting recruited. And then the second thing was, education was a big thing. And then the third thing was kind of, I wanted to be on a college campus. I know decent amount of schools are in big cities, and I think that that's awesome. That's unique. Great for students who want to do business ventures there and stuff like that. But for me, it was like, how can I go to a kind of a small college hockey market that can really help me and develop? And that's why I chose North Dakota.
Yeah, you make great points there. And so did you do any recruiting trips? Did you go to UND before you signed? And then also, did you go anywhere else?
Yeah, I went to UND and committed right on the spot. I was like, this is the spot for me. I had a couple other college recruiting visits lined up, but once I was on campus there, I met the guys, got to talk with the coaches, saw the things that they could offer me, athletically, academically, socially, everything. I just was like, yeah, this is a place for me, and yeah, I don't regret it at all.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, you have a ton of confidence, like coming out of the BCHL as like a dominant player in that league and stuff. And we talked about the adjustment to junior, but the jump to college is even bigger. You're playing against men now and stuff like that. So for you, how did you find that adjustment in your freshman year?
Yeah, that adjustment was probably the biggest adjustment I've seen, ever. I think that, again, you said it right. You go in against, big men, and you're just trying to basically, scratch for every inch you can get. I found, yeah, I think that, I showed up as a freshman. I was probably 195 pounds. I left college at about 215, 220 to when I signed with San Jose. So, you have a big opportunity to spend a lot of time in the gym, and a lot of time on the ice. There's extra ice always available there, and people who are willing to help you. But yeah, that freshman year was a big adjustment.
Yeah, most definitely. And then off the ice, like you mentioned, obviously like working out and stuff like that. But like the stuff that everybody else is interested about too is the schooling. And how was life as a student? Obviously, you kind of you value your school, obviously. And for you personally, how did you enjoy that, and how did you get through that?
Yeah, I think that for me, school is a big aspect of it, and I think that there's kind of this misconception that you go to school as a student athlete and you don't have to do any work. But I think like you realize quickly, like I have to attend classes, I have to put the work in academically as well. So it's definitely an adjustment, especially spending a couple years in juniors and not doing school there is. So I think it's an adjustment, but you learn quickly. Take care of your assignments before you go on the road trips, and make sure things are turned in on time. Get as much extra credit points as you can to make sure you can pass your classes at the end of the semester.
Yeah, exactly. You got to prioritize. And is there anything that sticks out to you as a key memory or something that that you'd like to share from your 3 years there? I'm sure there's a million stories, and it's always tough when we put you on the spot. But anything that jumps out at you?
Yeah, I think one thing they talk about college is how close your freshman class is together. You live in these tiny shoebox dorms together. You eat cafeteria food, and I think that when I went to North Dakota, they were on a little bit of a down. They were down a little bit, and I think that by the time we left, we had won 2 Penrose championships, and celebrating that with those guys was amazing, and yeah, those are memories I'll cherish.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and throughout your time, like your career has just been on a straight like upwards path like that, and it shows with the numbers, and throughout your time at UND, you kept progressively getting better until you signed with the Sharks, and you did 3 years at UND, and I understand you're still a student there, right?
Yeah, still taking classes. Yeah.
So were you considering like before signing, like staying another year and graduating, or was it just like as soon as I get a contract, I'm taking it, or how was that?
Yeah, no, I actually thought I was going to go back for my senior year. Talks with my family and my agency, and it was only pretty much late. I went to development camp with San Jose, and realized there was a really good opportunity to make the team out of training camp. So I signed it. I think I signed on like the beginning of senior day at UND to go to San Jose. So pretty quick turnaround, and yeah, so I didn't really plan it that way at all.
Yeah. And a year in the NHL under the belt, have you made any big purchases or like done anything? How do you like to spend your money?
Um, no, I don't think any huge purchases. Living in California is expensive enough, so
Yeah.
just my apartment there. Other than that, I think you guys talk about it a little bit. Get some investments going, and make sure your money works for you.
Yeah. Well, I do want to say, since we're on the topic, funny, um, I want to mention the Gavin Wells specialists. They represent hockey players, NHL players. They'll do your investments, help with goal setting. They're tax specialists, which is huge for California, very high tax rate. Founded by Stu Gavin, longtime former NHL player. So for you and for the listeners, check them out at gavingroup.ca.
With that being said, I guess we can keep rolling with the Sharks. And like you said, there was a big opportunity there for you. And I remember like going to that development camp, and I'm like, oh my God, there's a 98 here. And like, it was obviously, it was weather. And the guy was like a man amongst boys out there at that dev camp. And I'm like, why is this guy in a cage right now? Why is he not in Sharks gear? I was like so confused with all that. And like you had your cage and your UND stuff, and then you obviously take it all off for the camp and stuff. And I'm like, this guy, like he looks ready to play. And then sure enough, obviously, like you just explained, you end up making the Sharks, and you spent most of the year in the National Hockey League, which is absolutely incredible in your first season. So do you want to tell us about kind of just this year in a whole?
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, quick turnaround from leaving college, and you go into training camp and just put your best foot forward. Work as hard as you can and try to learn as much as you can. And I think lots of obviously ups and downs last year, but overall it was an amazing year, and lucky enough to play some games in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, and I mean, and you definitely played more there than you did in the AHL. And I remember we were talking about it before, but a couple like COVID complications and stuff like that. But overall, for yourself personally, like how do you find the year went for you as an individual?
Yeah, I think it went pretty well. I think you learn pretty quickly. There's a lot more games at the pro level than there is in college. I think that's kind of one of the biggest learning curves for all college guys. You have to make sure your body and mind is in the right place when you go into training camp, and I definitely took that away from last season. Yeah, just lots of games. It's fast paced out there. Be ready every day. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And actually, kind of hearing that from you makes me wonder. So, what do you guys play, like, what, 40 games in college in a year?
Less than that. I think I played 26 my last year due to COVID. So it was, and then before that, I think you'll be lucky to hit 40. But yeah, I mean, every the last 2 years I was there, I got shortened by COVID. So not a ton.
And we have a ton of young listeners kind of coming up the ranks in hockey and trying to learn themselves. So that this is a question that kind of would make sense for them and stuff. So what did you do this year that kind of kept you ready and in game shape for that long and kept your mind good?
Yeah, I think a big thing is leaning on the trainers in San Jose. They were great with me, whether that's coming in on an off day and getting an extra bike in to make sure your legs are ready, or getting treatment, or making sure you can stretch out the right way. And they're always a great resource for any guy to use. And that was huge for me.
And then one more thing on the Sharks here. We'll talk about your first NHL goal. And from what I remember, I think it was a beauty. And it was in your first NHL game. So you want to tell us who was the goal on and tell us about how it went down?
Yeah, it was on Hellebuck from Winnipeg. And yeah, I think it was in the second period. I was lucky enough to have a bunch of family and friends there. And yeah, just coming down on the power play, and Carlson made a nice pass over to me. I didn't really have to do much. So just kind of, put my head down, shot it as hard as I can, and was, lucky to go in. So yeah, it was a pretty cool one.
What was going through your head as soon as you scored it? Like, did it like set in right away, or were you like, holy shit? Like,
yeah, I think it was just, excitement. A lot of it too was really excited to have the family there with me. Because they've been through everything, the highs and the lows, and so having them there after the game and stuff was very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's sick. I mean, imagine like playing in your first game is cool enough, but then now you're on the power play and Erik Karlsson's assisting on your first goal. Like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
That's sweet. So I mean, this off season, I'm curious, what have you been doing this off season to be ready for this NHL season now?
Yeah, tons of stuff. I think, the biggest one is trying to build your body up, build your engine. You got to come into training camp in shape, ready to go. They always talk about the NHL season as a grind. Pro hockey is a grind in itself. AHL, NHL, lots of games, lots of travel. So that's a big emphasis, right? And then I think secondly is mentally, right? How can you take a couple steps away from the game at the end of the season, refresh a little bit, and then kind of maybe look back on the things that went well and the things that didn't go well, and try to make some plans and changes for the next season.
Yeah. Have you had any conversations with Mike Greer, and like, if so, what has he sort of told you?
Yeah, I got to meet him when he came on, pretty close after that. And, one of his things is just playing hard, playing fast, competing. If you watch the way he played, that's exactly how he played. So I'm not surprised that's how the organization is going. And, one of the things is everything's going to be earned, which I think is great for players. That's what you want as a player is the opportunity for everything to be fair and everything to be earned.
We've kind of hit it on it all here, but we want to get into just kind of some questions that the fans will get to know you a little bit and you personally. So this is always a hit one for our episodes, and it's a this or that. So I'll give you two options, and you pick the one of your choosing. So shoot first or pass first?
Shoot first.
Bar down or 5-hole?
Bar down.
Black tape or white tape?
White tape.
Cardio or weights?
Weights.
Interesting one here. Eat a muffin top down or bottom up?
Top down.
Okay. Ice cream or milkshake?
Ice cream.
Candy or chocolate?
Chocolate.
USA or Canada?
USA.
Night in or night out?
Night in.
Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos?
Let's go Elon Musk.
Okay.
That's my next. I want to get an electric car, so you better keep producing.
Hopefully he hears that one. So free Teslas for the boys.
That'd be great, all of us.
Yeah, we could use them as a sponsor card.
Yeah, sponsor right there.
Yeah.
Now we'll get into some random questions and then we'll finish up with the fan questions. But so just a couple random ones can go any way you want. But what song do you want to be the first dance at your wedding?
Oof. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know. I'll let my future wife decide that one.
Okay, that's probably a good answer.
Yeah, no, that's a smart thing to do, I guess.
Okay. Do you think that artificial intelligence will overtake the human race?
No, I don't think so. I think artificial intelligence, obviously, can compete with our minds, but I don't know if it can compete with our bodies yet. I don't know. I hope not.
Okay. Um, what do you think is something popular now that in 5 years won't be a thing anymore?
Oh boy, that's a good one. Makes you think.
It's a hard one.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe gasoline cars, right? Like I think it's going to go all electric, as we just talked about.
Yeah. The one
Yeah, I
I
agree.
was thinking when I hear it is TikTok. Cards, do you have an answer?
Ooh, that's a good
Yeah,
one.
TikTok could be definitely a good one because like you think about it, like look at Vine and like
Yeah.
Musically and all those ones
Yeah.
before it. So I think that's definitely, I do agree with the cars too, because like I never really like, understood like a Tesla and everything. And then I went in a self-driving one and like, boy, like it's unbelievable. Like they fully drive themselves. Like you set the speed you want it at and they just wheel. Like, have you been in one, Weather?
I've been in a Tesla. I've never been in a self-driving one, but yeah, that's a good point. I don't know if people are going to be able to drive anymore, like which is
Yeah, driving might be the answer, man.
driving might be it.
Yeah.
So
Every,
yeah,
and then
Huh.
the next thing you know, we'll have flying cars too. It's going to be a gong show here in the next few years.
Okay. Now, one more of these, and I was just telling Cardsy, someone answered you whether for this question earlier, but if you were stranded on an island with three other members of the San Jose Sharks, who would you want them to be and why?
oh boy. Well, I think the guy, I can't say him anymore, but Brent Burns would have been great. I mean, he's amazing
Yeah,
on
we'll count it.
yeah, okay. All right. We'll do Burnsy. We'll do Mario Ferraro. He's got such high energy. And then we'll have
He's got a good smile too.
yeah, he does, yeah. And then we'll do who else? Who do we got here? Yeah, maybe we'll do William Eklund. He's just
Yeah, he's the one who said you.
okay, good. Well, so we got nice.
Yeah, reciprocate because weren't you like you guys room together like every camp? No.
Yeah, we were together all last year until he got was sent back to Sweden. So he's a great kid.
How was that living with X?
It was awesome. Yeah. Again, just great kid, works hard, loves the game. And yeah, he obviously took me to IKEA, showed me around his kind of, I guess, territory. So it was awesome.
And actually, that kind of makes me wonder myself. How are you in the kitchen, living on your own and stuff like that? You good at chefing things up, or are you more of a skip the dishes guy?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I had my girlfriend live with me last year as well, so she does a great job. So yeah, I like to cook when I get the chance, but sometimes you gotta you gotta order in when you're after lots of games and stuff. So it's definitely a nice option.
Fair. All right, and then we'll go into our favorite segment where the fans get to kind of ask questions in on the Insta page, and we ask you, and they get their answers they're looking for. So stick specs and stick.
I use a CCM. Just keep it, very. I think I got the P92 curve, so pretty simple.
Here's one that I have no idea what this means. I don't Rask, who set this in?
Let me explain it. It's not like that. It wasn't the there was a lot of fan questions just asking about your spike ball tournament.
Oh,
I don't know what exactly it is, but there was like so many just saying like spike ball, spike ball. So what's this?
yeah. Me and my girlfriend's younger brother, we registered for a spike ball tournament here in Toronto. We registered way too high in our like way out of our comfort level and just got absolutely smacked. So it was a lot of fun though, but I have a whole new respect for spike ball.
So like you must have thought like going in like, okay, we're pretty decent. Like this shouldn't be too bad. And then you like how good like where was this? Like first off, I never knew there was even tournaments around here. And then yeah, you want to just tell us a little bit about that actually? Like I've never heard.
So we played a little bit this season, all the guys, especially we went to Florida. we did pretty well. So I text my girlfriend's younger brother and I go, hey, like we should do this. And he goes, yeah, I'm pretty good. Let's register. And I'm thinking this is going to be just a bunch of guys having fun. I think we accidentally like registered for the spike ball like World Series. So they like travel, like we had a team from Austria. It was like the top 5 team in Austria. We had played the top 5 team in Ontario. And I don't know if we got a point. It was just way like I remember looking at him, I go like, all right, this is one to forget. So yeah, it was in Mississauga. And again, it was I think next summer if I do it, I'll just register for the lowest division, the have fun division, and just have a blast. So yeah.
Okay, I wonder how all the fans like. Was this a known thing? Because how many like how do our fans all know about this? That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I just put it on. Like, I just put it on my story. I said, "Thanks for having us out."
Okay.
So I must have seen it on my Instagram, but yeah, I just saw it and it just popped up on my Instagram, and I thought, "Hey, this would be something fun to do in the summer." You know, just take your mind off of hockey and stay active. And, little I know, they're showing up with the guys on who are playing have jerseys and their sponsor numbers on the back, and I'm going, "Yeah, wrong division for sure."
Yeah, I guess so. That's a telltale right there. And just a few more here. Game day superstitions, if you have any.
No, don't really have any. Just like to go with the flow.
Okay.
Kick the soccer ball around. So yeah.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. Favorite thing to do in San Jose?
Favorite thing to do in San Jose, I think hiking is pretty awesome out there, and especially we're lucky enough to do it during the winters and stuff. So because it's pretty nice weather, so getting outside hiking with the dog is awesome.
Yeah, perfect. And last one here. Who took you under their wing in San Jose with the Sharks this year?
Tons of guys, but the guy I gotta give a huge shout out to, James Reimer. Just amazing with the guys. You go to new cities and stuff, and sometimes you'll land and not really have an idea where to get a reservation. It might be too late, and he'll come and grab 3 or 4 or 5 of the younger guys and go, "Hey, I got a reservation booked can fit everyone." And it's and he just takes us out, and he was amazing for a lot of younger guys, especially getting called up late and traveling on the same day and stuff. He would always make sure that everyone had a spot to eat and a place to sit. So he's a great guy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool to hear. I mean, like oftentimes you got these guys making a ton of money in some cases, and they don't really care for the young guys. But a guy like him, he's been around the league so long, and for him to do that for the younger guys, that's pretty great to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I think that's it for me, Rask.
Yeah, that's all I got. I just want to thank you for taking the time. It was a great interview. Super cool getting to know you, and I'm excited for our listeners to hear this one.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Really appreciate it. I love what you guys are doing.
Yeah, and from me, yeah, same thing as Rask, but really appreciate it. I know we've talked about it for a while now, and it's nice to like get you on here officially and let the fans get to know you a little bit. And yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks.
Yeah, I'll see you in a few. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right, I want to thank Jasper Weatherby for that one. Great interview, and always good to get a Shark on. It's cool, and we have a big listener base in San Jose, obviously. So I know everyone appreciates that, and it's evident with the fan questions, the amount we get. And yeah, I was surprised actually the spike ball thing, Cards. I guess maybe it wasn't a public thing, but he shared it. But they knew he did badly, which they probably couldn't have picked up from his Instagram because they were like laughing emojis, like how did the spike ball tournament go, like that sort of thing. Anyway, it was a great interview. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. Obviously, Weather's a great guy. A pro's pro, that's a guy, and you talked about it in the interview. His trajectory has been like only on an upward path, and that's because like he said, taking care of his body and just being a pro and doing the right things on and off the ice. So it's good to see him doing well. And yeah, that was a awesome interview, and I'm sure all fans, not only San Jose fans, will really enjoy that one. But what do we got? Anything else to talk about here before we wrap up?
We got a couple of things. I want to mention, I've brought it up here and there, The Bachelorette. I know you haven't been watching it this season, but we're wrapping up. We just finished hometowns this week, Cards, so we're getting into the thick of it. And there's a lot of drama, man. And actually, one of them, I'm not going to say names and stuff because you don't even know who they are, but one of the Bachelorette girls just wasn't feeling it for the guy's hometown and just sent him home before she even went to meet his parents. So they did the hometown date. And then she was like, you know what? Like, I just can't. And she sent him home. Or I mean, he was already home, but like, she just didn't go. So he walks into the hometown. They're all getting up cheering. He's like, yeah, like she's not here. And they got that on camera and stuff.
That's awkward for television. Like imagine like that just sucks for that guy. That's like a low blow.
Oh,
Hey,
it's tough.
thanks for
And
everything, but I'm
they
not gonna
make it so dramatic because at the rose ceremony before that, they're like a rose this week guarantees, you know, a hometown. Like this is the biggest rose of the whole thing. Like so they're all like, yeah, like if you give a rose to this person, like you want to meet their parents. And then it's like, you know what? Never mind.
it's like how about the parents too? They're like, oh my God, like what did this guy do on the date today?
Yeah. Anyway, so it's good. It's like this is my favorite Bachelorette season. I haven't watched many, but other people who have watched more are saying that this is good. And also with the two Bachelorettes and the extra drama that comes with that, it's pretty cool, pretty thrilling television. So, you know, anyway, some golf stuff we got to mention. My boy, one of my closest friends, Will Zalatoris, has won his first PGA Tour championship. So you want to talk about that?
Incredible fashion too, nonetheless. Like I
Oh,
know
in the
you're
playoff, it
watching,
was so sick.
but yeah, now 2 weeks removed, and we didn't tap into it because we had a week off and everything like that. Been hectic, but for that ball to stay up on the rocks, like that's one in like a trillion for that to happen. Because we obviously saw with the other player, like Sepp Strack, his ball does the same thing, and there you go, it's in the water, and that kind of just changed everything. Once his ball stayed up there, I think Sepp thought he was getting like Zalatoris was going to make an easy par, and then forced him to go at the pin, and next thing you know, it's in the water, and disaster from there. But that's a guy who's kind of persevered and for so long has been doubted because of his bad putting. And boy, oh boy, did he putt amazing down the stretch that week. And it's obviously terrible to hear that he's out for the year. He won't play in the President's Cup and won't play this week in the FedEx Cup Championship. But he's got his win, so Rask can relax now and just enjoy many more wins to come for him. But quickly, let's hear your FedEx Cup Championship guess. All right, like it's all the top dogs, top 30 left. Who do you think?
Who was the one who just won the BMW?
Cantley.
He was sick. I watched that.
Yeah, he's good, man. Like, and he won the FedEx Cup last year.
Okay. Oh, so is it weird? I was gonna pick him, but
No,
is that
that's
like
a good pick. A real good pick.
Yeah, I want to go with him. But actually, before I want to talk quickly, Zalatoris, before I flip it to you. It scares me with golfers when they get injured, especially this young, because you see what happens with golfers with injuries. They don't go away. Like he's probably going to be battling it his whole career. Like, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of both too. Like if you're young, you get to it early, it's out of the way. You're not the guy who's trying to battle through and stuff. So like you would think, right? Like with this much on the line, would he still try to battle through? Like there's 18 million or something like that on the line this week. So like obviously everybody wants a piece of that pie, and he had to withdraw. So he obviously knows what's right. He knows his career path is on the right way. So I do think, yes, it does. But I think also if you're on top of it, you can diminish it early.
Okay. So yeah, that makes sense. Now I'll flip it to you for your FedEx Cup pick, and then I have one more golf question after. But who do you think?
I'm gonna go Cam Smith. There's a lot of controversy around him. Everyone's saying he's going to live after this, and I think he might be. But for now, I like him as a player. And then it's obviously hard to go against Scotty Scheffler with a 2-shot lead to open the week. So we'll see. But what do you got next?
Well, I was wondering, and I've always wondered this, and I don't know, I've never asked it, but there's so many pros now who golf with the huge putters where they have one hand on the top and then like one halfway down, and they just guide it with their lower hand.
Mm-hmm.
What's with that? I mean, every putter you buy, if you go to like Golf Town or something, you buy like a standard putter, two hands on the top. So what's the advantage, or like why do they do that? And when did this happen? I've never I don't know.
Yeah, it's been around forever. So
Okay.
basically, before in golf, you were allowed to anchor the top part to your chest, but now you're not allowed to do that. So you saw more of those, like probably 8 to 10 years ago, because you were allowed to anchor the top hand or anchor it to the chest. So you got a lot of stability, and it was basically just one hand guiding it. So it made putting, like, I guess, easy for some. And so they took out that rule. So ever since they have, it's pretty hard to putt. Then it's almost like you're putting like with a broomstick. So you don't see it too much anymore. But yeah, no, it's definitely an option, and you have to look deep and hard to find them, because for people learning the game, it's probably just too complicated to do.
Okay, interesting. Because I'm sitting here like I can't putt. these guys use a huge putter and they can putt. So maybe that's that's got to be the putter, man. I don't know, but interesting. No, that's just something I was wondering. Yeah, that's all I pretty much have. I know we have a special weather report. Do you want to send it to the weather report and the outro since you're not going to do the outro right now?
Yeah, like I mean, the outro was taken away from me this week, and I was very happy to give it up. And I think the fans are really going to enjoy this one. So without further ado.
All right, thanks, guys. Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful week out there. Get outside, get your sandals on, enjoy the sun. So, yeah, thanks for having me. And that's the Weatherby Weather Report.